Wait, what about this part?
Shh. Welcome to TBR, a podcast where two besties read. I'm Addie.
And I'm Alex. And join us as we reread,
review,
and reevaluate our favorite books over the years.
Shh, I'm reading.
This week on TBR, we're covering The Hollow Boy by Jonathan Stroud, Part 5, Dark Hearts, Chapters 18 through 22. Hey, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Two Besties Read, or TBR. I'm Alex, and as always, I'm joined by the energetic and very excitable Addie. Addie, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm exhausted, and I'm here.
Are you drinking anything?
I am drinking water. Hydrate or dihydrate?
Hydrate or dihydrate. On that vein, I am drinking a Diet Coke.
Oh, on brand. You haven't drank a Diet Coke in a while.
I know. It's actually 2 Diet Cokes, but it's in one container, so we're counting it as one.
You have like the largest cup in the world with 2 Diet Cokes.
It's girl math, and we're going with it. Our intro question of the week is, have you ever visited or wanted to visit a specific famous haunted building or place, and if so, which one?
Okay, so this one, I don't think it's haunted. At least upon my Wikipedia remembering research. Granted, I went here like in middle school, so it's been a while. But in France, there is a Chateau de Cheneseaux. It's over a river.
I might need to look this up. How do you spell chateau?
How do you spell chateau? It is a beautiful chateau. And again, I was in middle school, so it's been a while. But I remember there was one room, and it was Louise de Lorraine's bed. And it was a room for mourning because Henry III died. So apparently she wore white for the rest of her life, the royal color of mourning, which is interesting. Yes, again, back to the color discussion we were talking about. But she turned her bedroom in the chateau into a permanent mourning space. So everything is draped in black, and there's lots of symbols of death in the room. It was creepy in there. I don't think it's haunted, but like I usually don't have like a spider tingly sense about haunted places or anything, but that was creepy. It was really creepy there. So that's probably one that I have been to, and I don't know if it was haunted, so I don't know, but yeah. And then I don't like scary things. I try to avoid them, so I don't know if I'd want to go to a scary place. I feel like I'd be too freaked out to go anywhere. I'm going to say I will pass on going any haunted place. I'm just going to call Lockwood and Co.
Yeah. They will deal with the haunting for you.
They really will.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I have been to a couple haunted places. I'm going to put that in quotes because I've been to Alcatraz.
Ooh.
It was pretty cool. I didn't really feel any creepy vibes, but also we went during the day, and I don't think we visited the one cell that's supposed to be super haunted, or like the dark isolation cells that are supposedly very haunted. But I went there. That was cool. I've walked outside of the Laurie Mansion in New Orleans. I got bad vibes from that. But also, we had just listened to a podcast about all the stuff that went on there, and it's awful. But one place I have wanted to visit that's haunted is the Winchester Mansion in California.
Why?
Did you ever hear about that at all? Okay, I just think it's cool.
Alex, I don't listen to these haunted things, so you gotta inform me.
Oh, Addie, this is like a famous landmark. It is a 24,000 square foot building in San Jose, California. And basically the story goes that the person who built it, her family was the family that built the Winchester gun. So she thought that she was haunted by all of these spirits that were killed by the gun. So in order to appease these spirits, she built this mansion that never ended. It was a house in progress forever, as long as she lived, because she spoke to a medium that said this would be a way to appease the ghosts. She could trap them in rooms. So she basically just built as many rooms as she could. At its largest, the house had about 500 rooms, according to Wikipedia, and construction went on for 38 years until she died. And after she died in 1992, the house had 160 rooms, 2,000 doors, 10,000 windows, 47 stairways, 47 fireplaces, 13 bathrooms, and 6 kitchens. But the really cool thing about this house is that it's so disjointed that there are stairways to nowhere. There are doors that open on the side of the house. It was just a way to confuse all of the spirits. So none of it makes sense from an architectural standpoint. Like, it's not laid out a way that a house should be. It's just, here's a room, there's a bathroom. It's all over. And I just think it's so cool. And you can tour it. So that's where I would want to visit.
That actually sounds cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be okay with the haunted bit, but that actually just sounds like a cool place to go.
Who knows if it's actually haunted or if she was just feeling super guilty.
It even says, visitors and tour guides claim to have experienced cold spots, footsteps, cooking smells, odd sounds, whispering, doors and windows slamming, feelings of being watched. I would be creeped out.
Sounds a little spooky. I would go in the daytime, but I think it sounds so cool to visit.
Yeah, that would be really creepy.
I would love to see Lockwood and Co. visit and have to solve a haunting in a place where it doesn't make sense. I guess Coombe Hall was kind of like that.
I'm telling you, this is the Scooby-Doo crossover you want. And
yes.
Listeners, let's just note, Alex did not mention Scooby-Doo in one of the previous episodes.
Oh my god.
We
first
noticed.
Episode.
It was noticed. We have a tally on our Twitter banner now. So
yes,
I know one
check
of you is keeping track.
First and last episode that'll happen, I'm sure.
Yes. And a little plug, listeners. We love when you interact with us on Twitter or you comment on our Spotify and interact with us there or email us, or if you have any like book recommendations, you can check out our website. It does bring us a lot of joy. So we do see them and we really appreciate it. And if you already have, you know who you are. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Just know anytime we see comments, we screenshot it and send it to each other and we're like, oh my god, someone interacted. How excited.
Someone likes our podcast. Like we get so excited.
We get very excited. So please continue to do so. Oh boy. But yeah, we are in the thick of the book. This is probably the most action-packed chapters. Into the thick of it. Oh my god. They are not trampling through the woods. They are.
We're going to the mall. With lots of the ghosts.
Into the thick of it. Okay. We're dating.
Into the shopping mall.
We're dating ourselves.
We don't know where the fetch
source
is.
I think if we narrow that down, that would be great. We can really get that going. That can be a part of our Lockwood and Co. musical.
Into the shopping mall. Into the shopping mall. Ugh.
Oh,
George.
God. Bobby. In the elevator.
Oh my gosh, this needs to be a thing. Okay, anyways, continue.
All right. Speaking of haunted places,
let's get into it.
Last episode we covered part 4 on rest, which covered chapters 13 through 17.
Okay, take it away. Take it away. Okay.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Oh God. All right.
Previously on Lockwood and Co.
After successfully solving the case of the bloody footprints, at least in the eyes of their very influential client, Lockwood and Co. was personally invited to join the Chelsea outbreak by Inspector Barnes, and through Mrs. Wintergarden's connections, is also invited to be on the VIP float for the Fitz and Rotwell Reclaim the Night parade. The night of the parade comes with many surprises. Lucy is sucker punched by Leopold Winkman. George questions Mrs. Fitz about the Orpheus Society. Sir Rupert Gale is officially introduced. And an assortment of ghost bombs and assassins joins the festivities.
Oh my!
Despite these surprises, the team works in tandem. George secures sources from the bombs and fights off visitors. Holly administers first aid and saves lives. Lockwood saves Mrs. Fitz's life from an assassination attempt, and he and Lucy give chase to the remaining assassin, only for them to escape on a balloon and later fall into the Thames. Though Lucy felt things were finally back to normal with Lockwood, his special toast to Holly and continued frigidness toward her push her into finding answers of her own. Using her psychic talents, Lucy finds out what really happened the night Jessica Lockwood died. Using his research talents, George finds the true center of the cluster haunting that is causing the Chelsea outbreak. And that's what you missed on Lockwood & Co. So that brings us to chapter 18, which is starting off with our smart little researcher, George.
Yeah, it starts off with a relatable moment from George when he says, "It's amazing what you can come up with when you lie awake in bed. It's such a good thinking time." Yes, but most of my thoughts are anxious thoughts. But I do agree, George.
Call back to last episode. When I lay in bed, I think of all the embarrassing moments and how cringe I am.
Yes, literally. Literally.
I'm glad George doesn't have that. He is not troubled at all by his embarrassing moments. He is analyzing problems in the night.
Yes, yes. George is explaining what his idea behind the Chelsea outbreak is. They're all in the kitchen talking about it, and Lucy, because she just learned all this stuff about Lockwood, she seems a little still, like, shell-shocked from what she saw, and I'm glad she feels guilty. I like this sad angst where she understands Lockwood. She says, like, well, I wanted to understand him better, and I did. But she says, it didn't make me feel too good. And it's like, no, it shouldn't have, Lucy. You went too far.
Yeah, you crossed a major boundary, and you should feel
Yes.
bad. And the fact that there is now this grand new problem for you to spend all of your energy on makes me a little mad, because I feel like you should wallow about it a little more.
100%.
But George does point out the shape of the cluster, basically saying how Barnes thought that the middle of the cluster was the pure center, because that's how any other cluster haunting will work. It would ripple outward from the true center. And he had said from the beginning, this is not the true center. It doesn't make any sense. It's not a site of a mass atrocity. And he later calls it out and does his little explanation method where he says, look at the borders. Here you have the Thames, ghosts can't cross running water. Over on Fulham Road, you have iron foundries of the Sunrise Corporation. Lots of small ironworks there, and then the smoke itself has iron in it, so that stops ghosts from crossing. And then the third end, you have the Lavender Works factory.
On the west. Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah.
So it's like a squashed rectangle is what it looked like.
The true borders of the cluster are not true borders. So we don't actually know where the true center is. Since those are kind of man-made borders, it can obscure the shape of the haunting. It would have probably spread in a different direction or over a different area.
I mean, we've talked about this of if the books were to be written from another perspective. I know Jonathan Stroud has said he tried to write Lockwood's perspective for one of the books, but he didn't find it as interesting. And it's another reason I love that we get Lucy's perspective, because I feel like if we were in George's head for this explanation, or just even for any of the books, this seamless way that Stroud, like, explains what's happening, the come to Jesus moment, if you will, or like the let's just sit down at the table. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the voila moment, that moment for George, if we're in his head, yeah, we're figuring it out with him, but there's not really a good way to have the audience, like the Poirot moment, the sit down, I'm going to explain to you from A to Z what's going on, because I've been thinking about it and I need to now share it with my team, aka share it with the audience. So it's just, I love these moments where George explains, because it doesn't feel spoon-fed. And I think that's just, again, just a credit to the writing, like how he's sharing this portion.
Oh, and I really love that George is not only a researcher, but he is a teacher. So in this moment, everyone is gathered around the table and he's like, hey, here's point A and point B. Give me point C. Give me a reason that this could be the true center. Name off a couple things that would cause a true atrocity that, he is making them jump to the conclusion with them. And I just love that, because as a reader, we're doing the same thing. We're like, oh, shit. I don't know. What could be the center? A plague? Yeah. A prison? Who knows?
Plague? Ooh!
Yeah. The new game is Guess the Atrocity, and I love it.
Yeah. Death? Oh, Lucy's, like, killing it on this.
Yeah,
also.
She is. She's really good at this game.
I know. Also, along with that, George provides figures. Like,
oh my
relatable.
God.
It was so cute. It was like, for as untidy and messy as they say he is, I'm like, Lucy makes him out to be like that, but George actually seems very organized with this.
Yes, George is organized chaos. I would love to be inside his brain, because he has all of the facts and the figures. He's gone back and done his research. He's looked at the maps that Kipps had in the binder that they were too busy to look at, so he just threw it at George. So, like, he has this Chelsea cluster outbreak going back to when it started to see where stuff started popping up, and from there they find the true center, which is, drum roll please, The Aickmere, I don't know how exactly how you pronounce it. Aickmere, the Aickmere Brothers Department Store. Which was not only the site of a plague where they buried a bunch of bodies, but was also the site of a war skirmish and was built on top of a prison, I believe.
Yeah.
Nice. So yes, they figure that out, and then Lockwood actually says, we got to explore this possibility. Even if it is potentially the center, we need to figure it out. But they have learned from past cases that this would be too much for their team to handle alone. So what does Lockwood, our leader, who is getting so much better at asking for help, do? He goes to Barnes before going to the store alone and running into trouble. He goes to Barnes and asks for help.
Yes.
And Barnes says no.
Yeah, he's like, Barnes may be grumpy, but when I show him our findings, he'll act soon enough. He knows how good we are. Don't worry. We'll put our differences aside. I'll sweet talk him. He won't let us down. And then there's the gap, and then it's total idiot.
I love it. You could see that in a TV show immediately as Lockwood's walking away being like, this buffoon.
I like how George's comment is, how's that mutual respect going?
Yeah. Oh, God. This is some of the very best green moments of this chapter.
Oh, I need to go back really quick.
Oh, yes,
Where
yes.
was it? Oh, yeah, he's like, we're going to need extra people. And Lucy's like, are you suggesting Holly goes too? And
yeah.
she's saying it sarcastically. Mm-hmm. And then Lockwood's just like, oh, yeah, what a great idea, Luce.
Yeah, great idea. Good job coming up with that. Lucy's kicking herself under the table. Why did I open my mouth?
Yeah, and George is sitting there like, dude, you idiot. Oh, my God.
Oh,
anyways,
God.
Sorry, that was a really funny moment. I had to go back to that.
Yeah, it's classic. But Barnes denies giving them any help, basically saying that we don't have the manpower. There's more important things doing tonight. We're doing this huge rush on the Chelsea outbreak to solve it.
Yep.
But we get this really lovely part of Kipps, where Kipps comes up and is like, hey, I listened to what you said with Barnes. I would offer my team's help if you're willing to take it. And I think we just need to talk about how Kipps says, if you think Deepak is still in charge, you're wrong.
Yeah, this is good insight that we get from Kipps, that
yes.
Deepak has to listen to Fitz and Rotwell, and again, this society, it's such a monopoly over this that any independent agency like Lockwood and Co. is not going to be able to thrive because the agencies that are telling them what to do are the ones that are the biggest. That doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, it's almost like how lobbyists in America get their way into bills because they're offering money to lawmakers.
Maybe let's just all think about that.
Yeah. Not to pull in our dystopian society of our own, but there's... Yeah, no one is truly on their own here. So Barnes has to listen to what these other agencies are saying. They have a ton of sway with him and are forcing him to do this push in the Chelsea outbreak. Whereas perhaps if they weren't pushing him to do this, he could have offered them some men, or maybe he wouldn't. We don't know. He kind of still has beef with Lockwood. That might have gotten in the way. But we get Kipps, who, in a rare show of being a normal human and being a nice, considerate person, not only offers his team's help to Lockwood and Co. to go and potentially solve this huge outbreak issue, but also says he's taking his own team off of the Chelsea outbreak because it's way too dangerous.
Yeah, honestly, this is where Kipps starts to become one of my favorite characters. And you can tell, I think, that Jonathan Stroud, wanted, he really ended up liking Kipps in the end and, wanted to, write him in more. Because he becomes more, cognizant of the problems in the world they're in. And that's very important for his character growth, extremely. This book is honestly where I think it's his changing point a lot.
Yeah, this is the beginning of Kipps' redemption arc here.
Yeah, and this is where I really start to like him. I mean, he gets sarcastic and funny where you really don't take him seriously in the next few books because he's just there.
I love him, yeah.
He's just Ken, He's
just Kipps.
He's just Ken. He's just Kipps. But this dude, he literally overheard a conversation with Barnes and was like, well, Deepak sucks. I'm joining Lockwood and Co. for a day because, this is dangerous.
They know what's going on.
And they know what's going on. And it shows how smart he is, and he has good instincts. And we get a yellow moment from Kipps right there. is because Lockwood's like, well, I don't understand. I thought you were working for Barnes. And he's like, well, I'm transferring because, you know, it's a free-for-all. Chaos is there. It's already cost the life of one agent. I don't want it to cost me another. And kind of like you said, he's like, I'm taking them off the case because it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And he basically is like, if you've got a lead, I trust you. And I think that is a huge step for Kipps.
Well, we know how much the status of being on this Chelsea outbreak is because Kipps bragged about it earlier in this book, and it was a huge deal for Lockwood and Co. to even be invited to join in the Chelsea outbreak. So Kipps willingly taking his team off the case because it's too dangerous is a huge red flag because we know Kipps is all about status. He has this bedazzled rapier. He constantly waves his status with the Fitz agency over Lockwood's head and all the resources he has. So him willingly taking that step to be a selfless leader and pulling his team off, big red flag.
Yeah.
And then we get another green moment. I love this part with George where Lockwood says, I appreciate the offer. It wouldn't work. Teams have to work together with absolute trust. You can't have endless bickering. And then George raises his hand and he's like, surely a little bit of bickering's fine. And then, of course, they start bickering.
Yeah,
And
I know.
it's incredible. Oh, my God. So funny.
But then Kipps says bad things happen to any team. Like, or what? Oh, yeah. Lockwood says bad things happen to disjointed teams. It's dangerous out there. Side eye.
Also, I think that's kind of poor taste to say to Kipps, who literally just lost Ned Shaw. Like,
yeah.
Let's show a little respect here. He knows how dangerous it can be. He just lost one of his team members.
Well, and that's why Kipps responds like, bad things can happen to any team. Does not matter if you're disjointed or not. But it is very much foreshadowing that their team is disjointed. They don't want to admit it. So side eye, Lockwood.
I know. And then we get little Lucy with her confidence boost here, showing that she potentially could be the head of her own agency, where she calls out Lockwood for his pride and challenges his decision to turn Kipps away, basically saying he's offering his help. Why the fuck would you turn him away? We need help. And also, how can you not trust George's research? You know, blindly saying no and deciding to do this on her own is implicitly saying you don't trust George.
Yeah. And I like that Lockwood is stunned from this. Like, he just is kind of like, wait, what? And it's like, dude, yes. You know, and I think this is something that was so well done in the TV show, is showing Lockwood's pride. More so than it is in the book that you see. But I really want a season 2 or anything, because it would be great to see this moment. But this is just a great moment for Lucy, when she's really coming into her own, because the whole book she's been very angsty about wanting to stand up to Lockwood, but she did a little bit when he fell and she went in to apologize, but it didn't ever I don't think Lockwood ever took her seriously.
Yeah, neither of them apologized, and then they skirted the issue and went back to yelling about Holly. But this is the first time I think we've seen Lucy stand up and challenge Lockwood's leadership here.
Because, and the other thing is, she's right in this moment. And I think that's what he realizes.
Right.
I think in other situations he could have argued that she wasn't right, but I think he then realizes she is right. And he doesn't want to admit it.
Quite honestly, I think if Lucy hadn't stood up to him, they wouldn't have accepted the help of Kipps' team. And I don't think anyone else, I don't think George, I don't think Holly, and I don't think Lockwood would have ever gone back to question that decision.
Yep.
So,
Chapter 19. Really quick. I have a very specific vision of this shopping mall.
What is the one that has a fudge shop in it? It's not a Dick's Sporting Good. Is it Bass Pro?
Oh, like a Shields?
It's the Shields. That's exactly where it has like the carousel. There's like a little fudge shop. There's different sections. The escalator where it's kind of open in the middle and you can like see through the skylights. That's exactly what I'm thinking of.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the outside. Have you seen the movie Cruella with Emma Stone? She works at a department store, but the outside of it is what I picture of the outside of Aickmere's. But then on the inside, I've been to a shopping mall in Belfast. It looks like how I imagine, and I feel bad that I don't know the name. I have a picture of it somewhere. I'll have to find it. But I just I have this very specific vision of what it looks like, of just, I don't know why, in the center, it's just all the department stores are on the outside, and there's a giant center. I'm thinking of you have this spiraling staircase, something that spirals up. Like earlier in the book, like the bloody footprints. There's a spiral staircase. So kind of the same thing, because first time Lockwood took a leap over a spiral staircase, and this time Lucy takes a leap somewhere else and it doesn't work, you know?
Yeah.
Or he tries to save her and it doesn't work. But I also picture like a circular center, and then all the floors and everything are around the outside. So the center's open. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm picturing for it. And I don't know if that's, I mean, probably I'm reading it and that's like not the description at all, but that is what I'm picturing.
I believe there is escalators that go up in the middle, so I would assume there is some sort of hollowed out middle area.
There's gotta be.
Hollowed.
Hollow, do you say?
I love this description of the department store where on the outside it's got this peeling, crumbling facade. And from far away, it looks wholesome and put together. And then the closer you get up, the more you see the little imperfections. And that's kind of like our team. Nice little allegory there.
Yep.
From far away, they're solving their cases. They're getting it done. They seem to be working together competently. And the closer you get, you see all of these little fractures within their foundation.
Yep. I think I end up wanting to do this for my BBC moment is just the amount of times that Stroud writes in how everything is slightly falling apart, or that there's stuff hidden underneath the surface, or things that are unsaid. Because like you said, this department store, it really has something hidden underneath it. And then there's the peeling facade, the patchwork on the doorman's coat. Not everything is as glamorous as it seems. And this department store is trying to be fancier than it is. And the tree that they're trying to protect something delicate that can easily be torn apart if you're not careful, you know, and like, oh, you gotta keep it well. You can't touch it. And it's literally like Lockwood's feelings of like, well, don't touch Lockwood's feelings because, oh, he's this way. It's like, no.
Ooh.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
And the other thing is like this feeling of nostalgia of everything is not as how you remember it. And even Holly and Lockwood say that when they go into Aickmere's, they're like, this is not how we remember it. And they have this sad, nostalgic vision now when they see it of something that once brought them a lot of joy, now is forever tarnished by just age and seeing things with older eyes, just same as Lucy once saw Lockwood with this once excited of, oh, he's so great, he's amazing, and now she's dealt with everything in this book and seen the other side, and she can't help, I mean, she brought it up at the beginning of chapter 18, she can't help but look at him and be like, it's not the same. Anyways, that's just my little soapbox on that.
Yeah, I like it.
Can we get to my favorite funny moment of this book? I'm telling you right now, this is my favorite moment.
Yes.
Of this
Hit us
entire
with
portion.
this is my favorite moment too. I love it.
Oh my God. It's like George was surveying the room. Don't think much of the displays, he said. Some of these mannequins are hideous. Oh, that's you, Kipps. I thought you were an exhibit.
I love it so much. That's just my favorite part.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I just could see, like, almost in, like, a cartoon of, like, Kipps just straight eyes, straight mouth going, thanks.
I have two things to bring up. One, the moment they bring up this tree and how nice it is, I knew it was a goner.
Yeah. 100%.
100%.
It's like any action movie where they're like, don't touch the so-and-so. You know it's going to break.
Don't push the red button. The red button's going to get pushed. Number two, from the beginning of this book, there has been something that has been grinding my bones, and I just noticed it these specific chapters, and I texted you about it. Why are we calling Kat Godwin Kate?
Oh, I know!
Why?
Obvious.
Why? I checked the other two books. It's Kat Godwin. It's Kat. Why is it Kate this time?
Is it just now, Kate?
It might have been this entire book and I didn't notice.
Wait, let's go back.
Because I searched in the other two books and it's Kat. Okay, let me search Kat for this book. Okay, yeah, starting with chapter 6 of this book, it is Kate Godwin, and Ned Shaw. But let me just do a little quick looky-loo into the last book. For Whispering Skull, which I don't believe we had a ton of Kat Godwin in that book, but let me do a look here. It was Kat the entire book. Scroll down. Always Kat, always Kat. Yep, Kat. All the way through chapter 29. And in the screaming staircase... Whoa. You know, it might be Kate in the first book. There's one reference to a Kate. I'm not even sure if it talks about a cat.
What's the reference to Kate?
The reference to Kate is on page 179. It is Kipps saying, "You'll pay for this, Lockwood. I swear I'll make you pay. Everyone knows Deep Rock's going to close you down. That's not enough for me. I'll make a way for you to really suffer. You and those idiot friends of yours. Bill, Kate, come on." He spun around, his lackeys did too.
Oh, weird.
So I'm not even sure if that's supposed to be Kat, because it doesn't make any reference to her being a listener or have any other reference.
So it just now switched to Kate.
So just this book has switched to Kate.
Weird. Okay, listeners, we're going to have to keep track. This is the same in the next books. I noticed it was a thing because someone brought it up in the Discord.
Yes.
So
I prefer Kat, and I'll be referencing her as Kat, even though it is written as Kate.
what was she in the show? Was she Kate Godwin in the show?
Don't worry, listeners. We'll keep track.
It's Kat Godwin.
But we have this lovely introduction of everyone. Everyone meets Holly and is instantly starstruck by her, of course. And then we get this lovely moment where Lockwood comes in and says he's late.
Hello!
Meetings don't start till I arrive, by definition. Therefore, you're early. He's just pulling a very much a Princess Diaries.
I was just right to wrote that in mind. I was like, is he the queen of Genovia? Yeah. Like, a queen is never late. Everyone else is simply early.
It's a very Lockwood.
Which he would say that. He would quote that movie. I full believe that Lockwood would watch The Princess Diaries and he would love it.
Yes. But we do have 7 people until our surprise guest, Flo, makes an appearance.
I put that too.
And
7.
I love Flo's introduction. She verbally eviscerates everyone except for Holly. And I truly believe it's because Holly is the first one to make a move and doesn't... You know how Lucy met Flo and she was like, she smells and she's wearing a bunch of stuff and her hair's all matted up. Holly reaches out her hand and says hello, basically, treats her like a human being. And I fully believe that is why Flo kind of is starstruck by Holly as well. And it's like, oh, hello, nice to meet you. Yeah. Oh, love it.
And then I get a little bit of a pissed off vibe. I don't know why. Because then Holly goes, because like... It's been stated multiple times. She was hired as a Lockwood and Co. assistant, like a secretary, for Lockwood and Co.
Yeah.
Not for Lockwood, for the company.
Exactly.
And then here she goes, Holly Monroe, Anthony Lockwood's new assistant.
Oh. Well, sometimes I think Flo says things to piss Lucy off, and I fully believe that she is just on that mode forever.
But no one, no. But like, no one corrects her.
Yeah, not even Lockwood.
But here's the thing. Let's back up. Flo didn't say that. Holly says that.
Oh, shit, she does.
Yes.
Ooh,
Holly says that, not Flo. So I'm like, Holly, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a little, I don't want to say presumptuous, but I think that's kind of a line in the sand.
Yeah, and then it says, like, Flo seemed taken aback. And you say, like, yes, I think it is. Like you said, like, she is taken aback that someone's actually being, like, nice to her when they're meeting her for the first time. But I think she also is kind of, like, technically the new, like, person he hired was Lucy, and now he's hiring someone else. And, like, Flo brought this up earlier that, like, oh, you're, like, the first girl that he's, like, kept around. Like, you're still here, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think Flo is also just kind of like, well, they're both still around, like kind of taken aback that way also. Just it's a weird situation. Maybe that's just me reading into a little bit more, but.
Yeah, I didn't really notice that Holly introduced herself as Lockwood's
Am I wrong?
assistant. No, she does. She doesn't say, I work for Lockwood and Co.
She strode forward, hand outstretched. Holly Monroe, Anthony Lockwood's new assistant, very pleased to meet you. And that's when Flo responds, charmed, I'm sure.
And she's flushing. Holly has that lovely effect on everyone.
Yeah.
The effect does not quite stay when they meet the chairman of the department store, Samuel Aickmere, who basically does not want them to be there. He says, we have our ghost protections. No one's noticed anything. We have a curfew anyway. Don't get in my store. Don't ruin my business. And Lockwood tries to pull the same trick he did with Lavender Lodge, where he whips out the warrant and is like, I have a warrant. You can't make me leave. And we get Kipps pulling his own weight out and throwing it around.
Yes.
He's like, we can make things very troubling for you.
But, and again, let's just go back to my discussion on this whole book, but the Aickmere's guy is trying to cover up that something's wrong.
Yep.
That stuff has been happening previously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Come on.
And I just think that Lockwood is he's shell-shocked by Kipps throwing his weight around to get the manager to let them stay. He, looks at him like, who the fuck are you?
It's like the one rule follower friend. As soon as they break the rules, you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Who are you and what have you done with Hermione Granger?
Yeah. Who are you and what have you done? Oh, my God.
And then, of course, the one stipulation is, sure, do what you're going to do, but do not touch the tree. That tree's a goner. That tree is going to be gone.
Yes. Oh, what was it?
I did skip past one funny moment from George where Lockwood asks, George, how many of our clients have we managed to kill now? Hardly any, a very small percentage.
Yes, okay, I had that. I was like, how many more were there? I don't know about that many.
I mean, they did beat up the Lavender Lodge couple, so who knows if they made it or not. But
okay, so Fairfax is dead.
They took out Joplin.
Fairfax, Joplin. So that's 2.
Technically, one of their clients of interest or suspects of interest died in their house, so that's 3.
True, 3.
And they sent one to jail. That's 4.
But that's not 4 of like they killed them. So 3.
Lockwood threw someone out a window.
Oh,
We don't know if they died.
the
They
water
burnt a house
water
down.
bottle out the window.
Yeah.
Okay, they walk around the store, and everyone's kind of noting just like there's a weird feeling around.
Very stuffy and oppressive is how they describe it.
Yeah, and they say like very bad smells.
Checking a lot of boxes.
Yeah, and they start asking the people that work there like how they feel, and they feel the same exact way. And there's even one lady, and this is so creepy. She's like, "Oh, I know," because like it's almost like the interview like in the TV show where it's like, "I have seen this. Oh, I didn't really see this. Oh, this was fine." And there's the one lady. I have seen it exactly on this floor. And it's like, oh shit, this lady knows exactly where it is.
Yeah, we get a Miss Perkins who gives us a little recollection from a previous worker, Karen. I think it's just very funny that she discounts what this worker Karen has to say. It's like typical Karen move.
Typical
for someone.
Karen.
Yeah. But there is an apparition that that appeared on a very stormy night where it was really dark outside, so it was kind of dark in the building, which allows visitors to manifest a little easier. They wanted to speak to Karen, but she's dead, and then...
Oh, yeah. I literally was like, she died? Oh, it was at home. It wasn't here.
But I have this whole blue section, which... It's not even talking about the visitor itself. It's just talking about how Mrs. Perkins is so mad and has this anger that she pulls out and says, Karen died at home. Oh, she'll be a visitor now, I expect. And Lucy says, oh, it doesn't work that way. And Mrs. Perkins gets so mad and so angry and says, how do you know? How do you know how or why any of our friends choose to come back? Do you ask them return to their motivations? And then Holly jumps in and says, no, we don't. It's not wise. And then looks at Lucy.
Yeah.
First of all, that lady is very justified in her anger because I would be also mad if A, I couldn't see visitors, and B, I didn't know why they turned back the way they did, what their motivation was. And we get Lucy, who could shed some light on this, but can't because she's sidelined by Holly, who then hits her down again and says it's not wise to do that. Holly?
Yeah, I mean, it is dangerous. I mean...
It is dangerous, and it did blow up in Lucy's face because she didn't have all the facts, but like, girl, come on.
Yeah.
Let's not smack her down again.
Well, and don't say it in front of people, like, shut up, Holly. Like, Anyways, moving on. Now we get to, they were wandering on store, and we get a little bit more information on the layout of the store. So, bargains in the basement, cosmetic and visitor defenses on the ground floor, visitor defenses. There's more stuff. There's like ladies' fashion, kitchenware, children's wear, men's wear on 2, and home furnishings. 3 has furniture, 4 has office supplies. And I wanted to say, let's count this. There were 4 elevators. Then Most people use the central staircase, which was next to the escalators. So that's 5. Another staircase, okay? Then there were narrow flights of stairs on the north end and the south end.
Ooh.
How many? Let's count again. 4 elevators. 1 grand central staircase.
Okay, 5.
And additional ones on the north and south.
7! Jonathan Stroud, you genius. It comes
Again,
up all
I
the
don't know if
time.
he's planning this, but 7! Oh my god. Anyways, I just had to put that there were 7 ways to get up and down on all these floors.
I totally skipped past what Karen saw. I was too interested in Miss Perkins. But Karen saw this thin thing on all fours crawling down the corridor towards her. Ugh. Yikes.
I know. Honestly, every time I read this one, I have to, like, this portion, because, as we know, listeners, I am a nervous Nessie. I have to read this portion not at night, because this freaks me out.
I personally think that this visitor is the scariest. The way it moves around scares the shit out of me. It's very the thing from The Ring, girl crawling out of the TV horror shit.
Yeah, this is the ghost that probably scared me the most reading it the first time. Like, the books in the next few ones, they're pretty creepy as well. And I like them for different reasons, but more of that they're cool in different ways. This one is just straight up creepy, and I cannot. Oh my gosh.
It gives me the chills.
So Lucy also brought along Skull, so Skull's also here. We have another individual on our team here.
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't like The Princess Bride, but Skull is very much giving Miracle Max here. Of, all right, stand aside. 'Tis my time to use my skills. Ah, yes, a disturbance. I feel it.
Oh, God. But they're all kind of filing together before everyone leaves, and they're watching everyone walk out. And I kind of want to take a moment and talk about the significance of where they're placed. It's nothing crazy. I just think it's interesting, the groupings that there are. So Lockwood and George are the original Lockwood and Co members, and they're together. Then we have Holly and Flo, which are both outsiders but confident in their own right with their own decision-making skills that are together. We have Kipps and his crew together, and then we have Lucy all alone with Skull.
Yep.
I just think that's interesting.
Interesting groupings.
Yes, but then the entire store is alone besides our 8 individuals and Skull. And we get this banger of a line where it says, yes, all the living inhabitants of the store had left, but that didn't mean we were alone. Of course not. After dark, we never are. Dun, dun, dun.
And Lockwood just blasted in the speakers. I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now.
They're all dancing.
The beating of our hearts is the only sound.
But that brings us to chapter 20.
Yes. This writing in the opening of chapter 20 is just, we haven't used it in a while. Chef's kiss. So good. So good. And it's just there's nothing like the onset of night to bring out the best in an agent. And for some of us, the darker it is, the better. I'm talking visually here.
I love it.
And just how, like, everyone is finally, like, on par. Like, they're all ready to go. The rougher points of personalities recede too. We turn into survival, to the job at hand. And it's important to state that because it's kind of like they've had all these differences, even especially with Kipps' team as well. I mean, they've had their internal problems. They've had problems with Kipps, but now, like she said, they're in survival mode now of we have to work together despite everything, and that they still will have problems tonight. And we know this from having read the books. And that's where what Lockwood said, where I was like, side eye, disjointed teams, bad things happen to. It is true because there are cracks, much like Aickmere's.
I do like that they all gather around to share chocolate and compare notes.
Yes.
Love that.
Love it.
And no one knows exactly what ghost it could be. Right now it's kind of up in the air, but they did say that a couple people have heard a voice calling out a name always when they're about to leave. Sounds like someone they knew that was far off in the building calling them back inside. And they said, oh, did anyone ever follow the voice? Kat says, no, Carlisle, they didn't, because they weren't completely stupid. Who would ever follow a disembodied voice? And Holly chimes in, oh, you never know. Some people might be tempted.
She's just being such a bitch.
Asshole! Why is she being such a fucking asshole?
This is where it doesn't check out for me. Like, the first parts of the book make sense for what I feel for her personality. This part feels very out of character.
This is girl mean. This is girl fighting.
Girl mean, and it's I feel like it's very out of nowhere and out of character for her. Especially when you read the later novels, like, it does not seem in her character at all. So I don't know why Jonathan Stroud wrote her like this. Like, I really don't, and I also don't, I mean, I get the tensions are, like, getting high, and there's a reason for that of what blows up in the next few chapters, but I don't, it feels very unprompted for her personality, personally, and I know probably some readers disagree with me, but, like, at least the way I was interpreting Holly from what I was gauging from her history of what I know and how she's been acting towards Lucy, this seems very out of nowhere.
Yeah, because in the story, we've already had the point where Lucy has gotten scolded. Lucy has felt her own guilt about what occurred in Mrs. Wintergarden's house during that case with the bloody footprints. And she already paid her dues for that, you know?
Yeah.
Holly already talked shit about her. George scolded her. Lockwood and her had a row. And I just think it's so pointless, Holly bringing that up every 2 sentences. Well, some people get distracted. And, some people listen to things they shouldn't have. And some people ask ghosts when they shouldn't be asking ghosts these questions. It's like, give it a fucking break. She knows she did something wrong.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because she's getting, like, a power trip from, like, Lockwood praising her up the previous part. But even that doesn't make sense because if she had a power trip, she would want to act like Lockwood does towards Lucy. And Lockwood has never done that publicly towards Lucy. He always keeps it for inside Portland Row or, like, even at that, he barely brings it up. So I'm not understanding where this is coming from for her. Just a personal opinion there.
No. It just makes me mad.
Yep.
But what makes me not mad is when Lockwood backs up Lucy.
Yes.
When Lucy says that she can hear something kind of a buzzing in the background.
Yes, and he is like, he wants to know what's going on, and he backs her up of like, he says, if Lucy says there's something, we need to take notice.
He doesn't even question it, especially when Kat says she didn't hear anything either, and she's also listening. He has so much faith in Lucy's skills that he will back her up.
Yeah, that's a heart, but it's not quite a pink moment for me because I'm still really mad at him and frustrated for what he did the last chapter, but it is a yellow moment of thank you, dear God, you still believe in her and you still trust her, you know, like, and I think it's good for Lucy to remember that he doesn't completely, like, he doesn't hate her or anything. I mean, he can be frustrated at her, but, like, he will not be rude to her in that way, you know, like, he does believe in her.
Yeah. And then he divides the teams up. Lockwood pairs himself with Kipps. Kat goes with Bobby. Then we get George with Flo Bones. And being picked last for the kickball team is Holly and Lucy, an unlikely pairing.
Can we back up? Can you?
Yes.
Can you imagine Lockwood, Kipps, and George having a fashion show in menswear? Wouldn't it be so funny? Like, if, like, everything, like, you know, everything else happened, and Lockwood, George, and Kipps are just, like, in menswear, like, it's gonna be a night to remember.
Just strutting. We all know that Lockwood could use a new coat after the Baird's Tomb incident.
Oh my gosh. Kipps would be blasted bejeweled.
Oh god. And you know what? George would probably find a nice new puffer jacket.
Oh my gosh, yes. Have you ever seen the TV show Dash and Lily?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We watched it together.
We watched it together. You know how Dash has, like, that coat in the show, and then he gets a new one, like, I think probably, like, episode 6 or whatnot, and he finds, like, all the disgusting stuff in his pocket. That's how I imagine George's coat is like, where he's had it for so long, he just has, like, random tidbits and, like, food and, like, I don't know, lint and notes and everything in his pockets that he would just have anything you need in there.
You know, sad. Okay, this is gonna go a dark place. When my grandma died, we were cleaning out our.
I was like, where are we going with this?
And because my grandma and I are sort of the same size for coats, I was like, ooh, some nice classy clothes for little old me for free.
Little old me? Who's afraid of little old me?
Yeah. And as we were going through her closet and, like, this is for donation, this is for Alex. I would like clean out the pockets. And like, I kid you not, almost in every single jacket there was a used tissue in every pocket. And it was like,
It'd be disgusting, but like, oh my god.
It's like, Grandma, gross!
No!
Throw this away. But yeah, I got a couple blazers. You know,
Very nice
stuff.
Very nice. We were looking through my grandpa's old jackets, and there was sawdust in them, so that was fun.
Oh my!
That was fun to clean out.
Yeah, the little vacuum in there and just hoover it.
Yep. It's my dream to have a coat like that I wear for years, and I think I kind of do have one like that, like a winter jacket, but I have my grandma's like leather jacket that I wear every so often, and I put random tampons and like hand sanitizer, notes, fortune cookie little things. Like, I've got stuff in there. It's a fun time.
That's how I feel about my purses, because I have like maybe 3 purses I use semi-regularly.
Oh, yeah.
So in every purse there's like, oh, here's some candy, here's some loose change, a couple tissues, maybe a face mask. And then I look at my purses from like a long time ago and I'm like, oh, I was really into eating Jolly Ranchers at this era. And this is like the old hair ties I used to use before I moved to a different brand. And it's like, oh, it's a time capsule.
Oh my gosh. When you find the old hair ties you used to use, oh my gosh. I freak out because
it brings it back.
It does, because I used to use the hair ties that had like the gel on the out, like tiny gel where it would like really hold it in your hair.
Grip your hair.
Yeah, and it would rip my hair. So every time I see it, I'm you know, like, I get a little PTSD from pulling out my hair. And then there was a phase where I wore like, what is it called? You would wear it like for running or like sports where you need, or like volleyball to hold your hair back.
Sport tape.
Yeah.
Like sports tape.
Yeah, the sports tape, but the one that goes around your hair, like a headband, basically.
Yes.
I would find a bunch of that in like my bags, and it was insane. Oh my god.
Oh god.
And that was just like a nostalgia memory, just ding in my brain. Yeah. You brought back so much. Please, let's move on. I don't want to remember that part of my life.
All right, moving on. So Lucy and Holly start to look around, and we get this lovely green moment from school where he's like, this is perfect. Perfect opportunity. You're alone with her. I have this great idea. Let's go to kitchenware and kill her.
What is he says? Like, a rolling pin will do nice.
Yeah. I love it. Just do it quiet-like and blame it on the supernatural forces. Who's to know?
I love
And it's even better because at this point, Holly doesn't know about Skull. So Lucy's just carrying around this big, bulky backpack and is listening to everything that Skull says. And at certain point, she like steps back and whispers to him. And Holly's like, who are you talking to all the time? But she has to keep it quiet so she can't have her full-on dialogue with Skull.
Yeah, it's just like
later.
It's like a one-sided debate.
Yeah.
Also, these mannequin heads everywhere, just like in daylight, they scare me. I could not imagine being there in the night with all these mannequins. I would freak out.
I'm scared of dolls. I'm scared of mannequins. I'm scared of people in mascot costumes or like any costume. I really don't like them. So the scene later scares me.
Can we just retell to listeners the time that we bought mannequin heads at Joann's?
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
You gotta tell the story.
So there was this trend a while ago, back before TikTok, where you would put a sweatshirt on and you'd pull the hood up and you would put a little foam mannequin head in there and it looks like you're a really tall, like Slender Man and you can do dances. So Addie and I were like, we have a Friday night free. Let's just go to Joann's, buy ourselves these cute little mannequin heads that were so creepy. And we did a couple. We didn't really do dances with them. I know
we did
like
a couple. I have them on my phone. They're funny.
Video or something with them. And we spent the entire night doing it. And then ever since then, it was very like we would hide and pop our little head around the corner and scare our other roommates.
The best was when we would hide it in.
Good time.
I was gonna say the best was when we would hide it in random spots in the apartment. Like we would put it above the dishes. One time it was in the fridge. Another time it was in the microwave, which was funny. And random cabinets, like they would be all over, and it was like the jump scare of like, oh no, because like whoever found it had to hide it again. It was a good time.
It was a good time.
Listeners, we'll post a video, and that's gonna be our picture.
Oh my god, Addie and I think we're really funny.
I think we are. We're hilarious. Okay,
we're hilarious. But we are getting to the point where Lucy is being bitchy to Holly and is being very, do you even know how to take readings? This is how you do it.
They're so mean to each other, the two of them.
It does encapsulate the girl meme. Do I think it's on a level that it needs to be? No. But it is very much the picky comments back and forth and the passive aggressiveness of not outright saying what you want to say, but just doing those little digs.
You mean like things happening beneath the surface and things unsaid?
Yeah. It's almost like
Maybe
there's cracks in the facade here.
Maybe like the point of this fucking book. Anyways.
Yeah. But we do get Holly starting to talk about her own traumatic backstory with the Cotton Street killings.
This makes me so sad for her and extremely frustrated for her and at Lucy. And I will say it's a tough, I understand that Lucy's trying to do her job in the moment. I've been there before where someone tells me something and then I'm like they tell me something like super deep and I'm like, hold on a second, I am not fully focused to take in this information. So and I think I understand that Holly was trying to really open up to her and I acknowledge that, but it's not the time, Holly. You know, like I don't know if she's like trying to like avoid all this like bitchy banter back and forth, but like it's not the time, and Lucy clearly is not going to listen right now. Like she cannot listen fully because you're on a job. You know?
Yeah, they don't have time.
And so
they don't have time for this.
I understand that Holly is mad at how Lucy didn't listen to her trauma at all, but also like to be fair, Lucy was doing her job. Like she was like, trying to not fuck it up, you know?
I get not having the emotional capacity to dive into Holly's trauma, but at the same time, literally Lucy could have just stopped and said, hey, I'm sorry, something similar happened to me too, or just leave it at I'm sorry. But she did not need to tack on, if you're an agent, stuff happens, because that discounts Holly's trauma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really does. And then Lucy hears a voice, and then they all are, talking about that. And Holly's worried that she's going to lose control again. She's like, it's not going to happen. It's gone. Let's just keep moving. And then, again, Skull delivers, like, quite possibly one of the funniest lines in the whole book is, I got 2 words for you, egg whisk.
Yes, I love Skull. He's being so sassy here, and he's also being very helpful. He says, I remember why this seems familiar to you. It's like the bone glass, but more muted. Then he talks about how there's other stronger powers here that do have will, and one of them is currently hunting Lucy. It's being pulled towards her because she's powerful and shines bright like a beacon.
It's creepy.
Don't like that.
Nope.
Don't like that at all.
Nope. And then Skull once again says, you could use a coat hanger as a garrote.
Yeah. I love Skull so much.
He's just like serious, gives really good stuff, and then is like, but you could kill her. Try this method.
It's like you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. It's either going to be incredibly helpful or incredibly sassy.
It's like you.
Yeah. Thank you. I have never been complimented better.
Okay, I didn't know if that was a compliment or not. But anyways. Okay, so the other thing I want to notice is that they're noting that they see apparitions. And it sounds so creepy that these apparitions are just floating around and they're not attacking. They're just floating there. That is creepy.
They're just watching. It's just very subtle. And like everything's building up to a point and we don't know when it's going to hit. So it's just very much tension is gaining in the atmosphere.
I have a blue moment for foreshadowing. So like you said with the bone glass, there is a big side eye moment to what actually is going on. Once again, and they say there are many spirits wandering around in this place. Most seem lost. I sense no willpower in them, but there are other stronger powers here that do have will. So again, we talked about that, the sensation it feels like the bone glass, but this idea that these spirits are just wandering around. There's apparitions just standing there. They're not attacking, so they don't have a purpose. But it's like they're waiting for a train or waiting for something to happen. They're just standing there. They're lost. They don't have purpose. Maybe, like, something is wrong. Maybe, like, they can't get where they need to go. Side eye. Just this whole section is just side eye right there. Anyways.
This whole book itself is side eye.
Yeah. Okay, then, yes. Lockwood pops up. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, he's just checking in, and we get Holly the snitch, who squeals to Lockwood that Lucy's been hearing voices.
Okay, pause. You said Holly the snitch, and I know you meant snitch like someone who tattletales. I was picturing
Like
Holly as a
the golden snitch. You know, the two golden childs.
Oh my god, that's so fucking good. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, Holly is saying things to Lockwood. Let's be fair here. Complete transparency. I do not think Lucy would have told Lockwood that she's been hearing voices.
No.
But it's also not Holly's place to say anything.
No, absolutely not. This moment between Lockwood and Lucy where Holly tattles just makes me, like, my angsty heart, because Lockwood, you can tell, is really just anxious about how everyone is at and what's going to happen to them, or if anything's going to happen, because that's why he's checking in on everyone. And as soon as she's like, oh, she's hearing voices, he's like, is that true? Like, he literally is like, she's like, yeah, and he just, you could tell, he says, he was silent for a long moment. I could see him wrestling with his doubts. Lastly, he said, okay, we're meeting up in a half hour. You think you'll be okay till then? He's worried in that moment.
I think Holly did it just to discredit Lucy and drive a wedge between them. I think it's an asshole move. She's placing doubts in Lockwood's heads about Lucy, and Lucy here is the listener. She knows when it's important enough to say. Do I think she should have said something? Yeah, I do. I think it would have come better from her, especially since they're dealing with a situation where people have heard a voice calling them. I think it'd be helpful. Sometimes I think Lucy keeps these important details to herself, but I don't think Lucy was keeping it to herself out of a place of malice. You know, I think she was just thinking what's important enough to share, and that wasn't it.
And I do appreciate, I will give Lockwood some benefit of the doubt here, that he doesn't blow up at her and be like, well, don't talk to them. He doesn't go to the worst case scenario and assume that she's going to do the worst. He automatically, kind of like before in our yellow moment I was talking about, he believes her and is like, okay, we'll meet up. Will you be okay until then? You know, like, he doesn't want to say don't listen to them. He doesn't want to say don't follow them, because he knows that that's going to open an argument and he's not going to win, and he respects that. But he also is not like, oh, what'd you hear? Let's talk about it. Like, he's respectful that she didn't want to say anything in that moment, and he doesn't divulge more into it than she wants to. Because, again, he understands, and I think that's one thing Holly doesn't understand. It's Holly doesn't really understand this relationship that they have. Like, that Holly and Lucy have, where Lockwood really trusts her in that sense. Not completely, but he does trust her opinion on things when it comes to matters like this. But she doesn't get that, like, when she brings it up like that, Lockwood, he's not as dumb to, like, be like, okay, I'm going to bring up this argument again, but don't listen to them. He's not going to do that. You know, I don't know. I think it's, again, out of character for Holly. I don't understand.
I think she's maybe in the deepest heart of hearts, she's really trying to be helpful and is like, any detail helps. And she's already on edge because this is a scary case and she hasn't been on a lot of them since she was benched. And it's bringing up all these past emotions of the last case she was on where everything went wrong. And I don't think her help is warranted or needed right now. And I think she's being an asshole about it. But yeah, that brings us to where Lucy gets intensely ghost locked by our first sighting of this ghost.
And this last part of the book I just have highlighted like all blue. It is so spooky and it's creepy. I'm going to put the book in the freezer like Joey from Friends, but this writing was so great. It had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. We're not going to read the whole thing, but man.
Whoa. We can't skip over. I want to read out how creepy this fucking ghost is.
Oh my God.
It came from the right side beyond the arch, a human figure crawling on all fours. Scarcely blacker than the blackness all around, it dragged itself along its knees and elbows with a series of slow jerking movements.
I can picture this.
Now and again it advanced in swift scuttles, as a hunting spider might, but the overall impression was of obnoxious weakness and of pain. Thin legs dragged behind it, The head hung low between the rolling shoulder blades, and it could not clearly be seen.
I like this. This is so creepy.
And then we get a fucking stream of spiders behind it, as if this horror show of a person dragging itself on the floor was not enough.
Why is it always the spiders?
We get a fucking rope of spiders following it.
No,
Hell,
I'm honestly
no.
scared to look up Fetch Ghost.
No, I don't want to. It scares me. This ghost man, I don't know what it is about jerking bony movements and elbow blades and knees crawling on the floor. Fuck no. Keep that shit away from me.
No. Mm-mm.
And the fact that Lucy's biting her lips so much that her teeth are going into her tongue and she's bleeding. Woo.
Creepy. And chapter 21.
Chapter 21.
Holly just says she didn't see anything. She didn't sense anything.
This is also what makes me so mad.
These girls are way too catty with each other during this first portion, but like the fact that Holly's really trying to like nursemaid her.
Holly needs to fucking butt out because this is probably the scariest thing that Lucy's seen. She's never been ghost locked to this extreme before. It's her right to share what she's seen. It's her right to say if she's mentally okay or not, and if she wants to continue physically, whatever. Lucy is in charge of herself. And Holly is over here trying to butt into everything and make decisions and say that Lucy's terrified and she's not fit to be there.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I also make the argument, if you don't know someone, something scary happens, and like you didn't see it, and they're just standing there like shaking, and you're like trying to help. I can see that Holly is like trying to, at the beginning of this, she's trying to help Lucy like calm down, and Lucy's like, I can't calm down. No, I'm fine. Blah, blah, blah. You know, and it's like, Lucy, you need to, I know you've got a lot going on right now, but like, you know, Holly is not trying to call you out right now. She's concerned, and I think she just does not understand what you saw or what's going on. Like, Holly doesn't really know what to do with Lucy because they're not on that level for her to comfort her.
I think her saying that Lucy should go home because she's in no state to be there is crossing the line. Crossing the fucking line.
Oh, yeah. That is crossing the line. No, but up until then where she's like, why don't you sit down? And she goes, I don't want you to sit down. What are you, my nursemaid? Okay, Lucy, let's just...
Okay, I get that. And Holly's trying to help.
Holly's trying to help. That's what I'm saying. At the beginning, I think Holly's like trying to help. And then later on, it's like, what are you doing, Holly? Like...
Yeah, once again, she's fucking being a snitch.
I don't understand.
Mind your damn business, Holly.
Yeah. I literally wrote, Holly, what the hell are you doing?
Then we get our next little mystery where Kat rejoins the group and she's all alone.
Bobby's gone. I'm like, how could you have lost him? Well, he is famously short.
I was waiting for that joke. I was waiting for oh, you guys were on the furniture floor. Did you check in the couch cushions? Like, I was waiting for that to happen.
It's such a creepy, oh my gosh. But then also they notice, they say, oh, like, how can you have lost him? I only looked in on you 5 minutes ago. And she goes, 5 minutes? It felt like hours. I've been searching all over and I can't find him. And Holly asks what time it is. And then Lucy realizes that the hands on her clock have stopped. And Kip says that his have gone backwards, which is another side eye to what is actually going on.
Side eye. Time is being wonky. I do not like it.
Nope. Something bigger is really going on and it's not great. Anyways.
Bobby heard a voice. Kat also heard a voice.
And they thought it was Ned, who's dead. That rhymed.
Saddest rhyme ever. Kat went off chasing a voice. Then we get our little appearance from Flo and George, who give another piece of the puzzle. Flo also heard a noise from someone who she knows to be dead. And she said she really wanted to follow the apparition, and she would have if George hadn't thrown a salt bomb on it. So
yeah,
this new visitor is playing games.
So it's all showing them someone they're closely connected with. Like, that would be really creepy. Who do you think it would show for you?
I don't know. Maybe my sister? I don't know if it would show me someone who's dead. Does it have to be someone who's dead?
No.
No, it doesn't, because we know later it doesn't.
What? Spoilers?
I don't know.
I mean, we'll get to it next episode.
Spoilers.
Sorry, listeners, if you haven't read the books.
Yeah. I don't know. Who do you think it would be for you?
Probably my brother or my sister. I think any of my parents or my brother or my sister, they would, if they showed them, they would be really hard. It reminds me of the Jabberjays in Catching Fire.
Yes, that's good.
Granted, it's like showing someone in pain, but like the
But
idea
still,
of
like,
it's not real,
identifiable
but
voice.
like I hear an identifying voice, something that they can't. There's no way they can be there, and like especially when it's like Ned and he's dead, and you want to follow. Like I believe in that moment, it's not as much of like a ghost pulling you to like follow it. It's just your instinct of your connection to that person.
Yeah. So we get our new achievement unlocked. Ta-da! It's a fetch.
It's a fetch. Let's read the description in the back. Fetch, a rare and unnerving class of ghost that appears in the shape of another person, usually someone known to the onlooker. Fetches are seldom aggressive, but the fear and disorientation they evoke is so strong that most experts classify them as a type 2 spirit, to be treated with extreme caution. Dun, dun, dun.
We even get George's explanation. A ghost that makes a psychic bond with the onlooker and takes on the guise of someone closely connected to them. Might be someone living, might be someone dead. Either way, it's really disorienting. It feeds off something that's uppermost in the mind. So if you're fixated on something or grieving, then you're particularly vulnerable. Then we get Lockwood saying something very grown up. He says, the source is too well hidden, it's too far powerful, we need to get the fuck out of here. Also, stay calm.
Yeah, I do like that he kind of realizes they're in over their heads of we need to find Bobby and we need to get out of here. This is not safe. And that's honestly growth. Growth for this man.
Yeah. He has a sidebar with Lucy, asking if she's well enough to stay and well enough to continue.
He notices that she's like pale. And I like that she's like, I'm not going to back out. We need to find Vernon. It's a race against time. And I like that he's like, I knew you'd say that. I know how strong you are. Be careful.
And then they have a nice little sidebar about Holly again.
I know.
And how Holly and Lucy complement each other. Compliment with an E, as in they pair well together. And also, we hear that Holly has complimented Lucy. Compliment with an I.
Which, again, I think it'd be interesting. I know, again, Jonathan Stroud said he tried, Lockwood's perspective. This is probably the one book I would want Lockwood's perspective. Because, I mean, he's probably just a dumb boy in this one. Dumb little dude. But I really want to know what Holly has said. And I want to know what's going on in his head. Because I feel like, genuinely, he's just very worried here, and he's very torn of if he should stay and help Lucy or if he should focus on getting everyone else out because he's worried about her.
Cracks in the foundation here. Cracks in my heart. We're getting to some emotional turmoil.
So Holly and Lucy head back up to office supplies, and they notice that it's empty of visitors and Bobby Vernon.
Then they go to the third floor, which is the floor noted in the beginning that the lady said she saw that thing on, so.
Oh, God. Oh, no, I didn't even notice that. Jeez. No.
Not a great floor. Not a great floor.
And then the skull speaks up, and he's like, if you leave him now, he'll die. It's like, that's not helpful, Skull. Like, we clearly know something's wrong.
Let me just say, I'm glad it was Lucy that found Bobby.
Same.
And I'm really glad that Lucy stood up to Holly and was like, yeah, he's in here, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he is. I'm glad she did that as well, because I think both of them need to, this fight, it's frustrating. I mean, the lead up to it is really annoying, but this fight needs to happen between the two of them.
It needs to happen. And I like that Bobby is also there as both a distraction and a buffer, and he chimes in as well. And he gives them a common goal.
Yes. So they do find Bobby. He's trapped in the elevator. Poor dude. And he got busted up epically. Like, poor man.
I know!
He thought it was Ned. Oh. Honestly, this would be so creepy if they did this in the TV show. Like, oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
It would be so good. Yeah, Holly's kind of freaking out. And Lucy's doing great in this panic situation, I will say. Because, again, she's had a lot of practice with this.
This is when the tension in the scene starts to grow. Because they need to get Bobby out of the elevator. They know things are coming. And we start to hear Skull saying, hey, things are coming. They need to open the elevator and get down there. And the tension just gets thicker and thicker because Lucy looks back as she's holding the doors open. We can talk about that because Holly's kind of rude about it. And she just sees the blackness. And she knows that creepy little mofo of a ghost is going to crawl out of there.
Yeah.
Holly crawls in there. This is the point I don't like here. Holly should be the one to get in the elevator shaft because she's the one with the first aid training.
Yes.
Then Holly says, oh, you're so much stronger and burlier than me. I don't think this should even be a discussion.
No.
Holly, you have the first aid training. Get in the elevator.
Get in there and assess the situation with Bobby. Honestly, would you rather want to be in the elevator with Bobby helping him, or would you want to stay out and hold the door and possibly deal with the ghosts?
I'd probably rather be in the elevator.
Really?
Okay, here's my thing. I don't know anything about first aid, but also I'm weak. So I don't think I can hold those doors open. I think either way we're screwed.
I think. See, I get really claustrophobic, so I think I would want to hold the door and rather deal with the ghosts.
We know Holly feels a little uncomfy.
I feel like she might feel uncomfy because she doesn't know Bobby as well. And also, I think she is panicking a little bit. And she feels like Lucy clearly is doing great in this panic situation. That she's going to know more of what to do if she sees Bobby. You know? And like the easy job will really be holding the door. I get that because I would want someone that I view as smarter than me or with more experience. I would want them to go down instead of me.
True.
So maybe that's, I mean, I don't know what Stroud is thinking really in this moment, but that could be a potential reason. They end up getting him out though, which is the good thing. And they say that we need to go down the stairs.
Because they know it's coming.
Then they do compliment each other. I want to note that. It does happen. Yeah, so right before the argument, we think things are going great because then, like, Holly's like, oh, he's bleeding. I have first aid. Should I? And Lucy's like, well, you might as well. Yeah, you're the expert. And I think she might be saying it sarcastically. It could be thought that way, like, you're the expert. But, like, she is. What's wrong with that?
And then we get the argument kicking off.
I get it because Holly's been asking the whole time, can you see it? Can you hear anything? Can you see anything? And it's like are we there yet? Are we there yet? So Lucy finally just blows up and is like, God, can you use your own senses? Like, if you can't even, like, do your job, what are you doing here? Which, fair. I get that. You know, that is really frustrating.
Then we get the whole, well, Lockwood asked me to come. You could have said no to Lockwood. Oh, like how you say no to Lockwood. What does that even mean? Never mind.
Never mind. We're moving on. And then they come back and she goes, don't talk to me about Lockwood. You know nothing about me. And she goes, oh, that's rich. You're patronizing me ever since I arrived. Like, oh my gosh. This is like the argument that needed to happen. I just literally was like, we're doing this argument. No. Okay, great.
Ooh, and then poor little Bobby is trying so hard to intervene and stop them fighting. You woke me up from a dream about a goldfish. I want to know what this dream is about.
And Skull's like, no, shut up, keep going. It's like, Skull, on the contrary, we waited long enough for this, Lucy. Just keep going. Just remember, there's the hanger over there. You can still choke her.
Oh, God. We get Lucy saying that Holly is all sweet and perfect and twists things around magically so that Lucy's the one to blame. She's patronizing her, and she can't ever do anything without Holly saying she's doing it wrong. Holly says, oh, I wouldn't dare do that and risk getting my head bit off by you because Lucy criticizes everything. We hear that Holly thought about quitting a couple times.
Yeah.
And then we get Lucy saying, oh, trying to basically gaslight me again and say it's all my fault again.
I have the funny moment because it reminds me of so many different like media references, but where she goes, I've tried to be welcoming, and when you started going into my room and doing weird things with my clothes, and Holly's like, it's called folding. You should try it sometime. She's like, I'm happy with my hellhole of a room. I'm happy with the way it was. And I don't know why it's giving two specific examples. One in Frozen, when he's like, you just married a man you just met. She's like, it was true love. Dunk. Like, that's what it's giving. But then also, I don't know. This is such a niche reference. I'm embarrassed to tell you I've seen this. Have you seen Pride and Prejudice and Zombies?
No, I'm not.
I have seen it. I hate zombie movies, but I did watch this one because I love Pride and Prejudice with all my heart and soul. But in there's okay, let's back up. Have you seen Pride and Prejudice or knows plot Pride and Prejudice?
I have not.
I'm gonna not reveal names then, because readers, if you have read Pride and Prejudice, you'll know what I'm talking about. Alex will not. So there's this one character He's very annoying. Mean, okay?
Is this Darby?
No,
Darcy?
no. I'm not telling you.
Okay.
This character.
All
We're going to call him James, okay? James, okay?
All right.
So James is a kind of a dick, okay? And then out of nowhere, he proposes to Julie.
Okay.
Out of nowhere. And Julie's like, what the fuck? I hate you, dude. Like, why? And he's like, well, you've got a lot of things wrong with you, but I like you. She's like, no. Well, one, you broke up my bestest friend and your friend. That's not cool. And he's like, well, I thought maybe she was just indifferent towards him. So I broke them up. There's a reason. Yeah, and she's like, she's not indifferent, and she takes they're like fighting in this scene, okay? In the Pride and Prejudice Zombies version. But it's like a full-on like fight scene, and she's like, she's not indifferent, she's shy! And like is chucking books at him. And I don't know why that's what this is giving now, is like, it's called folding! With like throwing the I don't know why I'm picturing this scene like this. But that is the fury I'm imagining with the two of them in this moment. Is like, I like things that, yeah, you went in and did weird things with my clothes. It's called folding! It's just like,
God, this back and forth.
It's the back and forth, but it's the fact, and it's just, it makes the argument almost funny after all the things that were like a valid argument. This just makes the argument funny because
it lightens it.
And I think it's why I like those moments in the other films, is because it's a random thing out of like an argument of like all the other things, like, oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, bring that up, you know? And this one's like, oh my God, really, guys? We're fighting about laundry now? Like,
yeah.
Anyways.
And then we get Bobby popping in again to be like, you guys both agree that I'm the reason you're here. Come on, give each other girly smiles. And then we get a little bit more about how now Holly was mad about how Lucy didn't respond in the correct way to sharing her trauma.
Yeah.
Which is fair. And we get Lucy's response, it's just like, the same thing happened to me, and it upset me, and I didn't want to share, and I didn't want to ask, you didn't ask,
Yeah.
you know, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then we get the line drop where, Jesus.
I didn't ask you to know about it, did I? It's my business. Like, Lockwood's past is your business, too. She glared at me. I know you went into that room. I heard you from downstairs. Which is like a huge, like, oh shit, she knows she's there.
Oh shit, Holly knows that Lucy went into Lockwood's sister's room when she shouldn't have. So she also knows that Lucy crossed the line.
Yeah.
And in this shocked silence, they start to hear a little clattering. Some scratching, trembling, scraping across the glass.
Ugh. This is so creepy.
And there it was. We get the line.
Oops.
Oops, from school. Now you've done it, Bobby Vernon said. Holly Monroe and I looked at one another. Just looked. We didn't bother trying girly smiles or anything. It was too late for that.
Because these negative feelings, and we've talked about this in the first book, it attracts the ghost. So they just did it. They brought this upon themselves.
The tape dispenser is moving, and it is too late to fix it.
Ooh.
Which brings us to chapter 22. And I will warn you now, I have an order for groceries coming at some point, so they may or may not come.
This might be stretching it. Hey, let me find exactly the description, because it describes what the tape dispenser looks like, and I had something important. Hold on. Oh yes, okay. So the tape dispenser is like in the table, okay? And it says, at the counter with its jagged crack and the tape dispenser sinking up from the fractured glass like the bow of a sinking ship. Let's just... Stroud, I don't know if you were doing this. This may be stretching it, but this is my little wow great writing soapbox. The tape dispenser broken in glass and sticking up like a sinking ship. When you think of a sinking ship, what are you thinking of?
The Titanic.
Yeah, like the Titanic, where no one wanted to believe that it could sink, and then it did. Just like no one wanted to believe that Lockwood and Co. could possibly fall apart in this way. Everything's fine. We're all fine. It's gonna be fine. Just like this entire problem. Oh, it's all fine. The Chelsea outbreak's okay. Like, we've got it handled. They don't. Again, with the metaphors of everyone pretending that it's fine and that it's okay and that it's all fantastic. Everything's amazing. And it's not.
Yeah, I put there, Lockwood and Co. is a sinking ship. This is a metaphor.
Yeah, okay, I'm glad we both caught on it.
Yeah.
But I went really deeper than that, of like, specifically the Titanic, because no one wanted to believe a ship was sinkable. Anyways, I just think it's really sad in this moment that they don't really see anything. There's papers rippling around all around them. And Holly's like trying, I think she sees her and Lucy actually are acting like a team now. And you see like how small Holly is if she's trying to remind herself of what to do. Because that's when she's like, okay, the Fitz manual says we have to establish type. And then Lucy's like, yeah. She's like, okay, so we know this. And in this moment, Lucy sees the socks. And then she starts to think about how they might not make it to Christmas and the socks that she wanted to get Lockwood and George.
I know. Hey listeners, it's Editing Alex. I left the part in at the beginning of this chapter about my groceries potentially being delivered. And guess what? They were delivered. What fun foreshadowing. Unfortunately, past Alex forgot to turn on her microphone again after picking up her groceries, and we lost 20 minutes of footage. Luckily, Addie and I did realize during the original recording that I had never turned on my microphone again, but we couldn't exactly remember everything that we had covered in those 20 minutes. So this chapter is going to be a little bit shorter because we're just going to briefly overview what we talked about, and it's not going to be all those nitty-gritty details. So apologies in advance. Hopefully it never happens again. Now back to the episode.
What?
I forgot to
Oh my god, Alex! Okay, you've got to go back.
I don't remember where we were at.
Okay, we were at, they're going down the
Might have
stairs.
to restart the video.
They're going down the stairs.
Okay.
We can just start there, that's fine.
Yeah, they're going down the stairs.
To kitchenware.
I don't even
And
know
they're
where
slapping
we're at.
each other.
Oh, to the kitchenware.
And then you were saying it's
Yes,
cool
yes,
why
yes,
the
yes, yes.
poltergeist, like, it can't ghost touch you, but it can control you. So why don't you go there?
Yes. Okay. So they are getting bitch slapped by this poltergeist now that they're in kitchenware. And it is really lucky. It's really lucky that this poltergeist cannot ghost touch them, because the poltergeist gets all of its power through the emotion and the tension that they're feeling. So it can channel it into moving things around and slapping them. But it's kind of like toying with them in the point where it knows where they are and can hit them. And it hits Lucy and it hits Holly. But it's not actually killing them or throwing knives at them just yet. It seems to just be messing around and causing some mayhem. Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, no fun.
But then we get to the point where Skull is telling Lucy that they need to keep moving, even though knives are being thrown at them, because otherwise they'll die. And that brings Holly up to say, hey, who are you talking to? Lucy says no one, and Holly doesn't believe her. So the skull gets let out of the bag. The cat's out of the bag. Lucy reveals that she's been talking to a haunted skull in her backpack. And Holly says that explains a lot.
Also, I like, again, it's glad that they had this fight, because I think old Holly, before their argument, would have just let it slide and not said anything.
Yep.
But Holly now realizes if she wants to get an answer out of Lucy, she has to push her like this and be like, no, what is going on? And then Lucy will tell her because she's mad.
You know, it needed to be said, because I don't think if this confrontation would have happened that Holly would have ever known that Lucy can talk to type 3s and that she actively converses with the skull, which I think is part of the reason why Holly is so mad and brings up, hey, don't talk to ghosts, because she doesn't know that
She already does.
Lucy... Yeah, she already does. She actively has conversations, and she has had conversations with ghosts in the past cases, and Holly doesn't know that. She's never heard of anyone talking to type 3s.
Yep.
Because it's unheard of. And then we get the creepiest part with the mannequin head turning around.
Oh, God, not the mannequins. No. And then a pair of pants is strangling her.
Oh, not just any pair of pants. A pair of pastel nylon trousers.
If Lockwood was here, he would say the audacity of these pants.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Don't go with her outfit.
Yeah.
How embarrassing to be strangled by those.
Oh, my gosh.
If a pair of nylon trousers do me in, then just don't tell anyone that's how I died. And then we see the shadow figure crawling after
No,
him.
that thing is so fucking creepy. I really don't And it's whispering her name again, saying Lucy. Like, oh my God.
This shadow creature is not the poltergeist. So there are two things at play here. Whether or not this is the fetch is up for debate. But,
yeah, and that's what I don't understand, if it is the fetch or not.
Yeah, I get a little confused.
Yep.
But yes, Lucy does say we finally made it down. They slid on the metal strip between the escalators. Holly slips and skids. Vernon tumbles after her. Lucy keeps her footing and remains upright, and she sees the scene that is unfolding before her, and she puts out, I love this writing where it's, oh, I had wondered where everyone was and why they hadn't come to find us. And I couldn't figure out why. Now I understood. And then we get the description of all of the chaos that is happening. Oh. It's like a tornado has ripped everything apart.
No, the tree's gone. Rip the tree.
Tree's been ripped apart.
It's not there anymore. It was destroyed.
That poor tree is spinning around.
Just like Aickmere in his grave right now. Like,
yeah. Rolling around, but oh boy. And then we see what's left of our team all huddled by the door. They are doing their best to fight whatever the hell is breaking loose due to this poltergeist. They have 3 iron chains thick and wrapped up around each other in a semicircle.
Like out by the door to the exit, basically. And they're all just standing there waiting for them. And everything's like flying in the room.
They're so smart for building this defense. And Kipps is ripping up cushions to pull out lavender everywhere. Like, they're being very smart and doing the best they can. It's just that this thing is so strong and is ripping everything apart.
I'm surprised that it has torn up like this amount and it had never before. That surprises me. Honestly.
Yeah, I guess it just never had the emotional... I mean, that little creepy thing was in play. It seems like that person, Karen, had seen it. The fetch was in play because other people had heard its name as they were leaving. It must just be because it's dark and because of the emotional turmoil that's happened that this poltergeist has been given the goods to go. I mean, also there's what happens later in the next chapters that has given it the juice to really...
The juice. The fuel.
Get it going, but the fuel to the fire.
Gusto.
But I'm just so surprised that this thing is strong enough to literally rip the floorboards out from under the chains.
But let's talk about the metaphor, the epic side eye, the giant
side eye.
It's like a giant bone glass with everything swirling in the middle of the room. Let's just think about that. And so then they Holly gets delivered basically over this whatever's happening in the middle of the room, this hole or whatnot.
Whoa. We skipped something important here. Lockwood throws his rapier aside and jumps over the hole that is going in the floor.
Oh.
Just like he jumped to save Lucy from the little boy.
The bloody footprints?
The bloody footprints ghost. He is putting his life at risk here.
Literally without the rapier. My heart is just... Oh my God. And he says he's coming over there and grinning. His old grin. Oh my God. Why do I like the angst and love? I'm sorry, I'm a romance person. I just can't.
I can't.
It just makes me... I cannot. I don't know how to... I have no words. I just... Yep.
And he saves Vernon.
He saves Holly, and then he jumps back over, and this is the moment I go, oh my God, is he looks at Lucy and just goes, just you, Luce, he shouted. His eyes sparkled, and he held out his hand. And similar to the beginning of the book, I held out my hand. Lockwood held out his. And it didn't go right at the beginning of the book, and it doesn't go right here. The floor ruptures, boards go everywhere. Lucy loses her balance and steps back, and she literally just... her backpack's like snags on a broken spar, and Lockwood tries to reach for her, and essentially she is thrown away down a pit.
Ooh! Do we want to talk about... I guess the difference here is that Lucy's not jumping. Book 1. Lucy and Lockwood have to jump out of a burning building, and Lucy falls. Book 2. Lucy and Lockwood jump off the top of the building to escape whatever the fuck his name is. Lucy chooses to jump, right? Grabs Lockwood's hand. Book 3, Lucy falls alone.
Oh.
Feel like there's a metaphor in there somewhere. Anyway, moving on.
And that's basically the end, is where she falls down this pit. Voices were calling her name, pulling her away from life, away from all things she loved, as she plummeted into darkness. And that's the cliffhanger we're left with.
And both her mind and body were lost. Ugh. Dude, this chapter, I can't.
This portion is huge, and I can never read this one split up. I always have to read it as one entity.
Oh, I did read the rest of the book when I was doing this.
Oh, yeah. You can't stop after this.
No, you can't, because you need to know what happens next.
It's like once you get to this part, you have to read the rest of the book the rest of the way. Like, there's no stopping.
This is one specific cliffhanger that you just can't. You can't. You just can't.
No. All right.
That brings us to our what if question of the week. What if question of the week. Our what if question of the week is, what if Lucy and Holly didn't have Bobby Vernon to carry down with them? What do we think would have happened?
What do you think would have happened? I feel like you've got a really good theory for this.
I'm not entirely sure if they didn't have Bobby, that either Holly or Lucy wouldn't have abandoned the other. Because Bobby gives them a physical tie that they are chained to each other because they need to work together to get him out. So I think without that group goal and without having a reason to stay literally hip to hip together and stay at pace with one another, I think either Holly's trauma or, Lucy's frustrations with Holly, I think they would have separated.
Potentially, if it was just Lucy and Holly, one of them might have left or left the other, or something worse would have happened. There would have been no one there to kind of stop the fight or kind of ease the tensions every so often, because Skull is just there the whole time egging them on. Like, it's not getting any better. I have a hard time of saying what exactly would happen, but I think if Bobby was not there, I think probably what could have happened is I think Holly would have gotten really scared and run off, honestly. I feel like she probably would have. I don't think Lucy would have, completely ditched her unless Holly was being stupid. Then Lucy would have ditched her, but I don't think, she would have wanted to split up because I think Lucy would think it would be worse with her alone. But then at the same time, okay, I say that. That was a dumb thing to say. Lucy wouldn't be alone because she has Skull. So Lucy might have been okay alone, but I don't think she would have won. I think she would have felt bad if she left Holly. But I don't know how mad Lucy is after that argument.
I think that him being there physically, quite honestly, I think it would have been the same if he was, knocked out, it would have been the same because they would have carried him. They wouldn't have abandoned him. He is their common goal to get him out safely. That's kind of the way that they can both put aside their differences and focus together. But yeah, I think that if he wasn't even there, if they couldn't find him or if someone else had rescued him already, I don't think Lucy would have abandoned Holly. But I do think she would have been a lot meaner. It would have been like, we need to leave now. She would have been dragging at her. I think Holly would have freaked out more because she didn't have something to distract her.
Yeah.
And keep her mind off of it. We know that Holly's freaked out because of this poltergeist. It's literally like PTSD for her from her last case where everything blew up. But also, Holly is a healer. She does first aid. That's something she can physically put her mind towards and feels confident in. And I think Bobby gives her a little confidence boost of something that she can handle at that point.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So, yeah, I think things would have been a lot different.
Yeah. Now we've got to move on to the favorite moment guessing game. And I think we both know our favorite moment. So this portion will be really short. Favorite moment guessing game. But it is George thinking that Kipps is a mannequin.
Yep. That is the best moment by far.
It's so good. I mean, I will say second place is Skull listing the ways that Lucy could kill Holly, which is hilarious.
Oh, yes.
And the one word egg whisk and Lucy going, that's 2 words.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the point, Lucy. That's the wrong thing to link onto.
I do have a question. I forgot to bring it up earlier, but I'll bring it up now. When Holly learns about Skull, Bobby is still awake. Do we think he knows anything?
Yeah.
Do we think he believes her? Do we think he actually Will remember that that Lucy can talk to a skull and she has one in her backpack, or do we think he's just so out of it?
We don't ever know, because he doesn't show up in the 4th or 5th book, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. We're adding this as another question for Stroud. Thank you.
Yeah. Who else knows? Anyway. But that brings us to next episode. It's gonna be the right before the conclusion of the book. So the last couple chapters, it's part 6 of Face in the Dark. We're covering chapters 23 through 25. We are saving chapter 26.
We're saving 26.
We're saving chapter 26, which is the last chapter of the book, for our BBC episode. So get excited for that. Some heavy emotional turmoil going on in this next couple books series.
Yeah.
Everything.
In the meantime, check out our socials. Follow us on Instagram at 2bestiesread or on Twitter at 2bestiesread, or you can email us at 2bestiesread@gmail.com. And we also have an amazing, amazing, amazing website. Please check it out. If you have any book suggestions, you can suggest them there. You can email us. You can comment on our Spotify page. Mm-hmm. Let us know what you think. We love hearing all your little random bits and what you're interested in. We love your little opinions. If you comment on our Instagram, I promise we'll respond. You could check. We respond to every single one.
We'll like your post. We'll respond. We love it.
Yeah. We know your thoughts. So let us know. Was your favorite moment also where Kipps was mistaken for a mannequin? Yeah. Were you also freaked out by the poltergeist?
What would you use to kill Holly?
Oh, yeah. Would it be an egg whisk?
Did you also think of the Titanic when the tape measure was stuck in like a sinking mast?
Do you also wear mismatched socks, or are they regular socks?
Yeah. How do you feel about getting socks for Christmas?
Yeah, that's an important question. If you don't like them for Christmas, I'm sorry. This is where the end of the line for you and our podcast is.
Yeah, we are
Please accept
a pro sock podcast. Tell us about your favorite pairs of socks.
What's your opinion on mannequins? Are they creepy? Because I think they're creepy.
It's like the scene. Have you ever seen that Lady Ghostbuster movie?
Yes, I love that one.
God. It's like the scene where the ghost possesses the mannequin and chases them.
Oh, yes. Okay, I was actually, this is a side note, and you well know, Alex, I've been watching Lock and Key.
Yeah.
And I got to the part where they go into the...
No, they go into Eden's brain. Oh!
Yes, and the mannequins come alive, and I was literally picturing this scene. Yeah, that freaked the hell out of me. I had to skip parts of that. That was really creepy. So that's, does that creep you out? It creeps me out. Side question, do you want to see the mannequin video that Alex and I did? I promise it's really funny. It did actually make it on the Snapchat Reels. Not to be not to brush off and brag a little bit, but I was pretty cool for a moment. Let us know. Do you think the argument between Holly and Lucy is warranted? Do you think there is a right answer in the situation? Do you think there's a side? Are you team Lucy or team Holly? Or are you just always team George like we are?
Yeah.
Should we get t-shirts that say team George? Let us know.
Yeah. Would you be in the elevator or would you be holding it open? Do you want to know more about the goldfish dream?
I want to know more about the goldfish dream.
Yes,
Bobby,
me too.
You can come on. I know you're short.
Bobby,
You'll
let us
fit
know.
in our pocket.
Just like Flo said.
Yeah, just
fit
like
in the
Flo.
bag.
God, I love Flo. She's so funny. Anyways,
let us know.
Yeah,
Addie,
let us know.
As always, Addie, you're my bestie. Thank you.
As always, Alex, it's been a pleasure. You rock. You're amazing. And that is the end of another episode. And with that, Alex, into the shopping mall. Into the shopping mall. George! We're going on a case.
Who knows what we'll fight?
Into the shopping mall.
But we don't know where the source is. Oh boy. We're gonna drop an album. Thanks for listening to TBR.
Be sure to follow us on the socials at 2bestiesread.
Got any suggestions for the other series we should look at? Email us at twobestiesread@gmail.com.
Join us next week as we read